Hey Taurus, welcome to your stress relief reading where we'll take a peek at things that might be bugging you a little bit and what you can do about it. So let's jump right in and start by pulling a couple of oracle cards to see what's going on around you. And the first one that we have out for you is Mirror. Who or what is triggering you? Let's grab another and see what other energies are surrounding my Taurus collective for this reading. Oh, that one wanted to come out, didn't quite make it. What's going on with my Taurus collective? And what we have for you is Oracle Library. So this is an interesting combination that came out. So with the Mirror, there seems to be something that is triggering you, something that's bothering you that you might not necessarily be able to put your finger on. And with the Oracle Library card, this is really about going back in time, sort of going back into the recesses of your mind and thinking about people, places, situations that you've experienced before and figuring out how it relates to your life as it currently is. So if there's a bit of a nagging feeling that's bothering you, if you find yourself maybe overreacting or reacting in a way that's not necessarily characteristic for you to a person that you're interacting with or a situation, something that someone said, it feels as though it might be time for you to do a little bit of introspection and figure out where that triggered energy is coming from. Sometimes it's not readily apparent. It's almost as if we bury situations that we've experienced in the past. And when we feel something even remotely resembling it come up again, it's like you have this reaction and it's almost like, damn, where did that come from? And so I think Spirit is saying that it's time to hold up a mirror. And maybe it's time to face some things that you've experienced in the past that you may not have necessarily had the opportunity or taken the time to process in a healthy way. So let's jump into some tarot and see what other messages we can get for you. And we're going to start with the roots of your stress. We have the King of Wands in reverse. So the King of Wands is a very sort of blunt energy. It's someone who speaks their mind. It's someone who speaks truth. And when we have it in reverse, it feels as though there's not communication, not honest communication, not truthful communication. And so I think in your case, Taurus, there may be some false conversations that you're having with yourself. That if you're having a conversation at all, quite frankly, we're not going to take all of these cards that flipped over because it's quite a few of them. But let's see if we can clarify that a little bit. So I'm feeling like you may not be being honest with yourself right now. And what we have clarifying, we have these Two of Wands in reverse, and we also have the Six of Pentacles. You're not feeling particularly balanced right now. And with the Two of Wands in reverse, this is a bit of, a decision card that needs to be made, right? So the Two of Wands, when it's upright, really signifies a person who can either stay where they are or they have the option to kind of move forward in life. They sort of have the world in the palm of their hands. This feels like a very stagnant energy that you're not moving. You don't know what options you have. You can't quite figure out what your next step is. And with the Six of Pentacles in reverse, there's very much a lack of balance. There's a lack of grounding that's happening to you right now. And I'm not entirely sure that you know the reason behind it because you haven't had that honest conversation with yourself, because you haven't held up that mirror. So what's the best way for you to cope with this stress right now? We have the Chariot. This is about movement. This is about moving forward, progress. So I think that going along with Mirror and Oracle Library, it's time for you to move forward by being truthful with yourself, by going back a little bit in time, I think, and evaluating some situations that you've been in so that you can get a little bit more clarity as to, why you're sort of feeling the way you are, why you're reacting the way that you are. And we have the Eight of Wands in reverse. So this is interesting because these are two cards of movement, the Chariot and the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands upright is really about rapid movement, information coming to you very quickly. And I think that for this situation, yes, you need to move forward. You need to sort of make some progress into tapping into yourself, but you're going to have to take your time to do it. I think that it's going to take a little bit of time for you to uncover sort of what's hidden beneath that's creating these triggers in you right now. So this is not going to be an overnight proposition. This is not something that's going to be cleared up in a day or two. This is something I think that's going to take a little bit of time and a little bit of concerted effort on your part to get to the root of whatever is happening with you. Now, an important lesson that you're learning right now, we have the Star in reverse. And let's see if we can clarify that, because the Star is really about dreaming. It's about wish fulfillment. And we have that clarified by the Four of Chalices, or the Four of Cups. So when I see these two cards together, it almost feels as though whatever is happening with you is keeping you from fulfilling your dreams because you're not necessarily seeing what's almost right in front of you. So with the Four of Cups, we typically have it pictured as somebody sitting and looking at three cups in front of them, but they either refuse to look at or they somehow can't see the cup that's being offered to them by the universe. And so I think that there's something that you are missing, and Spirit is trying to get you to focus on whatever that is so you can almost stop sabotaging yourself. Because I think that whatever these triggers are, it's sort of preventing you from living your best life. It's preventing you from achieving goals, whether that's in the workplace or having healthy relationships with other people around you, whether they're platonic or romantic. But the lesson that you need to get here is that you got to focus, because you're blocking yourself by not addressing whatever this was that you experienced before. It's keeping you from progressing ahead. So what is it that you're not seeing clearly? We have the Hanged Man, a different perspective. There's, I think, a message in this that you may be interpreting in a way that does not serve you. So the Hanged Man, yes, it can be about being stuck in limbo or unable to move, but it's also about seeing things in a different way. It's about perceiving things from a different angle that you may not have explored before. So we also have the Three of Pentacles, which is about partnership. It's about working with other people. And so I do feel for my Taurus collective out there that whatever this situation is has impacted how you interact with others. So I don't think that this, has to do with necessarily finances or anything like this, but how you show up when it comes to other people in your life. So, it may be that, somebody said something to you years ago that really hurt you. And now whenever you hear something that you think is remotely close to that, even if it comes from a very good place, there's sort of this automatic knee-jerk reaction like, oh my God, it's happening again. And so it really feels as though you're not seeing how that's impacting the way that you deal with other people or your ability to have those healthy relationships in your life. So something you might want to think about exploring. Now, how you can avoid this issue in the future, we have the Knave of Swords. So the Knave of Swords is it's a bit of a fickle energy. It's very in and out. It's very wishy-washy. It's very inconsistent. And let's see if we can clarify that a little bit further for you. Oh, all right. So we have Judgment, and we also have the Ace of Pentacles. So I actually very much like these cards that came out for you because it tells a bit of a story. So what it feels like with the Ace of Pentacles in particular is that there is a need to be grounded. And with the Judgment card, it also feels like there should not be a sort of literal rush to judgment. Instead of having this, sort of very, quick energy that's in and out, that's, very rapid, like, oh my God, you said X, Y, and Z, I'm done. Depending on what the X, Y, and Z is. Don't take overt disrespect from anybody. But if it's somebody who is well-meaning, someone who you care about and want to build with, it almost feels like you should take a step back and maybe sort of assess what they said, the context in which they said it, and then even have that conversation. So if somebody says something that makes you feel some type of way, it's perfectly fine to say, well, what made you say that? What did you mean by that? So you can get some clarity before you jump to a conclusion that may be incorrect. So it feels like, Taurus, based on your past experiences, that there are some things that you might hear or you might see that brings back those old feelings that you haven't necessarily processed. So overall, it feels like Spirit is saying, you know what? Take a little time to dig deep and sort of get to the root of your feelings about that situation and figure out how to process it. How is it that you can move forward and not necessarily pretend like it never happened, because that's a part of your story, but figure out how you can approach things differently so you don't have this level of stress, so you don't have these triggers that you've been experiencing. So let's pull another oracle card, see what other messages Spirit has for my Taurus collective. And what we have is, for they can conquer who believe they can, Virgil. So I feel like this is almost a message to yourself that these triggers, if you allow them, that they will overtake you, that they're going to continue to cause this level of stress. So this is not something that should be able to conquer you. Taurus, I think you're stronger than that. I think that you're going to be able to put in the work to be able to get clarity on past situations and figure out how you can prevent them from adversely impacting how you operate and how you engage with people going forward. This does not have to stop you. This does not have to slow down your dreams. I think that with a little bit of time and effort, you can absolutely get to the root of this. You can figure out what's going on. You can heal from it and have a much healthier interaction with other people going forward. So that's what I got from my Tauruses. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this reading, and I'll see you on the next one.